This is a story of me. This is probably a part to be expecting some narrative featuring teen angst. Maybe I fancy a boy who doesn't fancy me. My story is nowhere near as exciting. You see, I don't leave a house, or at least I barely do. I may look like every other teenager, but I'm not. I have ME, which is some other name which is super long and be knackering just to say.
You have just heard a short segment from Emmy, myself and I, and today we are talking to Maliha.
Hi Maliha, thanks for joining us over Skype for a chat. We have myself, Tom, Andy, John, Olivia and Henry here to have a chat with you.
Hi Maliha, how did you feel when you first received the news about your condition?
Well, when I first got diagnosed, I was like, I took it a lot easier than I thought I was going to take it. I thought when I went there, if I got told that I had it, it was going to be like my whole world falling down. But I realised that actually it was so much relief that I felt afterwards, because for so long no one believed me. No one thought that there was anything wrong with me. They thought it was all in my head, all in my mum's head, and I knew that there was something wrong. I knew there was. For so long it just got so bad, and to be told by someone that I have got it was what I needed, because I needed that for school as well, for them to do anything for me at school, for me to receive any kind of help. I needed that diagnosis, so it really helped me a lot.
And how old were you at the time?
It was only really recently that I got diagnosed with it. It was actually on November the 20th.
Right, it is recent then.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started getting the symptoms?
Well, it was at the end of year 7, so I was 12, 13. Well, that was when the symptoms started causing problems for me, but I think that longer than that, there was always, looking back, there were signs and things that I wasn't as like healthy as other children were. I was always getting everything, and so but then maybe we just thought that I was just a child, that was just normal. It was only when things started taking a drastic turn with school and my sporting, because I absolutely adored sport. I literally went to every single club there was, every single day of the week. I was doing a different sport, athletics, the whole lot. I was coming home with certificates with broken records for running, javelin, everything, and I loved it. It was my passion. And when I stopped being able to do sport because of my health, because I started to faint after races and things like that, it started to become really evident afterwards as well. After I'd done something, the next day I was in absolute agony, and everyone else who was doing sports day, the next day they could all go back to school, but I couldn't, because I was just in so much pain everywhere. And for so long I thought that, well, it was just me. There wasn't anything wrong with me. I was in denial for a long time that there was anything wrong with me, because I'm so hardy. So no, I'm going to get out there and do it anyway. I'm going to show them all wrong, that kind of personality. And when I stopped being able to do the things that I wanted to do, it was really hard. And so for all that time, it took a long time for me to accept that there was anything wrong with me. And then as soon as I accepted it, we pushed and pushed and pushed for a diagnosis, because it was what I needed.
Did you find any medication helped you in any way?
No, not really. Well, I'm on antidepressants, which help my mood, which in turn help the cycle. That basically there's a cycle with me. Depression comes along with ME and along with a lot of other things as well, but that is one thing that I've had to battle. And so there's a cycle. I get depressed because I can't do anything, and then I don't want to do anything, so then I lay in bed and do nothing, and then I get worse. I get because I get stiff and I don't do anything, and all my muscle has gone now because of that. But I've never found any medication really that stops the pain. Paracetamol doesn't even really, and you have to keep on taking it, and it doesn't ever feel like it helps to what you need it to help. It doesn't ever go away completely. And I get really bad joints and muscle pains, and well, I'm in agony now because I've actually got a kidney infection, which I get quite a lot because of my immune system being so weak. But no, other than the antidepressants, I've not had any medication that's helped. And the antidepressants help only because they take the edge off the depression, and then so I've got a little bit more motivation to do things, which is what I need as well.
Do you have anything you do that helps you cope with it?
Distraction copes with the thoughts of self-loathing, because you've got this horrible condition and you can't do all the things you want to do. You can't do all the things that you used to be able to do. Distraction is the main thing, really. With music, with drama. I absolutely love drama. Drama is amazing because I can be anyone else at all, a fictional character, anyone. I can just be that person for half an hour, 10 minutes even, and not myself, which is really therapeutic for me. I do use it as a sort of therapy, but I can't really do that much now because I'm not at school, because school has proven really, really hard at the moment. But I'm getting back on track, and I'm going to start going back to school and things like that. So drama will be one of the top things up there that I will go out and do straight away as soon as I'm there. But other things, just keeping yourself occupied, even just I don't know, being with friends sometimes can drain me a lot. But if I'm feeling low because of Emmy, then I'd always say to other people to surround yourself with people who will make you laugh and things like that. Even though that might make you really, really tired afterwards and you might just need to sleep, it's a lot better than not doing anything and just feeling terrible and still feeling ill anyway.
How did the school help in making life easier for you?
Well, they really didn't. They really didn't at all. And they hadn't still. I was always getting the impression that no one ever believed me. I always thought that they were just looking at me like, oh, for God's sake, she's not going to lesson, she's not doing this because she's saying she's not well, but there isn't any evidence of her not being well because it is invisible, pretty much. When I'm in pain, they can't see the pain. There isn't no bruising or anything. I was always getting sent away. Oh, just go to lesson, shrugged off all the time, even by doctors and things like that. They were shrugging us off. But school really haven't helped me in any way because they didn't have any evidence prior to the 20th of November that there was anything wrong. And as soon as we got the diagnosis and we gave it to them, they was like, yeah, we've got everything we need, we'll start sorting things out. And it's been quite a long time, and I'm still not back in school because things haven't quite been sorted out enough, and I haven't been very well, so I haven't actually seen any evidence of them trying to help in any way. And they don't send work home either. They haven't sent any work home, and we've asked numerous times. You feel like you're always talking to a brick wall when you're talking to school, because they might even acknowledge what the things that you've said, but then just forget about it as soon as you said it. Or that's what it's like, because nothing ever changes after we go and speak to them.
What was the main factor you think that gave you the final diagnosis? What tipped the balance, do you think?
Well, it got to the point where I was completely bedbound. Well, I could get up. I was completely housebound. I only got up to go to the toilet, really. I ate in bed. I just lived in my bed. I didn't go out at all, and I was feeling so terrible, and I still had no idea what was going on. I didn't have a clue. And so when I actually heard this about this condition, it was on the radio, and I was on the way to the hospital. That was the only time I left the house to go to medical appointments, where they still weren't giving me any answers. But when we first heard about it, I was listening to the symptoms, I was listening to the stories, and I was dotting things in my head, and I was ticking, and I was going, oh my God. It was like a realisation moment. I was like, this is the condition that I've got. They say that you have to have 5 or 6 of the symptoms to be diagnosed with it, even though it takes a long, long time to get a diagnosis. You need that for the criteria, and I had every single one of them. And that was the straw for us. As soon as we heard that, we was like, no, this is it. And we fought and fought and fought to get the diagnosis, because we needed that diagnosis for the treatment that I needed. And now I've actually got treatment, so I'm going to physiotherapy and I'm at the chronic fatigue syndrome in King's as well. So I've got the treatment that I need, and I just need to use it and find it beneficial and get better. But I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. I'm confident that I'm going to get better.
Have you met anybody else with the condition in similar age to you?
No, I haven't met anyone else at a similar age to me. My granddad did actually get diagnosed with ME a few years ago, and he had to come out of work for a couple of years. No, a duration of time. It was quite a long time, and he was. Well, I was really angry with him because he knew about ME, and he knew about me, sort of. He knew that I wasn't well, and I thought that he really should have connected the dots and came and said maybe, but we didn't even know that he had ME until afterwards, until I'd mentioned to him that I thought that this is what I had, and he said, oh, I'd been diagnosed with that a few years ago. And so it was like, well, thanks for telling me.
Have you had any serious challenges since being diagnosed?
Not since being diagnosed have I faced any challenges because of the diagnosis. I've faced a lot of challenges because of ME, but I've faced lots of challenges for a long, long time. And I think just because I got the diagnosis doesn't mean that was when I got it. That was when things started becoming difficult, because in actual reality, I needed that diagnosis for anything to change, for anything to get better. So I'm just seeing as everything now that happens after diagnosis is just as a stepping stone to getting better. So I'm not really seeing anything as a challenge. I mean, I know that I get ill and kidney infections and things like that. They are a challenge, but that's not because of the diagnosis or anything like that. That's because that's just what comes with ME.
When you missed school, how did you feel about it?
Obviously, I was held back. I mean, I was really, really clever at school. Well, I still am clever, but it's the knowledge that I need. And when I don't go to school, I miss out on all of that information, and I also miss out on social information as well. I always thought that I was 4 steps behind everyone, because everyone was always talking about something and I had absolutely no idea what they were talking about, because I was missing so much school. And so it was really, really hard, actually, and it still is really, really hard, because I'm in year 11 and I've got my GCSE exams this year, and I've missed so much school. It's going to prove extremely difficult to do my exams, because I've got really high expectations of myself and I want to do really well, but I also struggle with actually getting to school and doing all the things that I need to be doing to get there. So that is a challenge, as you could say, for the last question.
Can I ask, just you kind of mentioned it a little bit there, but if you could just elaborate on, obviously when you're in school you learn a lot of kind of like social skills and kind of like community skills that you learn. Like how has that affected you?
Well, I got bullied in year 7, so I didn't really get on with people from school. So I was always I kept to the outside anyway, even when I was at school. But when I was there, I had to have this bold sort of, I don't know, this character. I had to put that out there to stop me from, I don't know. I thought that maybe I was stronger when I was at school than I am now. I was more confident, and I think my anxiety has got a lot worse since I haven't been at school, because I'm not always surrounded by lots of people. And so now, if I was to ever go out anywhere with I don't know, a fair amount of people, I get nervous and shy, and I start backing away. At school, I didn't do it that much. I mean, I was always able to talk to people, or was able to start communications with people, even though we weren't like best friends or anything. I was always able to do that, and I find it a lot harder to do that with people face to face now. And I think that is due to not being at school, because I'm not constantly surrounded by other people.
In an ideal world, taking you back to say 11, 12 years old, what would have been a brilliant way of supporting you?
What a brilliant way of supporting me. Well, to be listened to,
Yeah.
to feel like when I was speaking to people and I was speaking completely truthfully, these were serious problems that I was facing, serious issues, and I then had to isolate myself because I didn't feel listened to. And so if a child comes up to you and is clearly struggling, and not just, you can normally tell, I think, like parents, definitely, for children to tell their parents, you can normally tell when they're faking, when they're trying to like get a day off school or whatever, to when they're really not well. And when it starts becoming consistent, not being tired but run down, and also when things start changing, when their social life start changing, they stop going out as much, they stop doing all of the activities that they used to do, that is a really massive thing. And to be observational as well, to be observant, sorry, I'm tired, to be observant and to notice these changes, because it really does make a huge difference. If I was supported then, I wouldn't have suffered all this time, and it would have been a lot easier to get over, I think, if I got over it when I was younger, if I felt listened to, felt that things were going to change.
Okay, that's a great answer.
What kind of a career are you looking for after school?
I really, really want to go and do something along the lines of theatre, drama. I want to go to a drama university after my A-levels in Birmingham, actually. I really want to do that. And so that is where my career path is. That's my preference, really. That's what I want to do. But I think it may be a bit difficult if I don't get over this. But I will. I've just got to be confident. I've just got to be hopeful and be positive, and everything will sort out.
Oh, we can hear a whispering mum in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that she should speak, and she said no, she doesn't want to speak, but she's given these sort of hints and hints.
That's a mum's job. It's a mum's job. Little notes.
No, yeah, she said that I'm very politically minded, and that I'm very passionate about things. I'm very passionate about animals. I love animals, and when people are mean to animals, I get very, very passionate about it. And when I feel like people aren't being listened to, I'm very passionate about that. And I want to make a change. I want to do something that makes a change to people.
How do you feel about us making the film?
I think it is absolutely brilliant. As soon as I heard about it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. I really, really did. And when I started talking to Tom about it and just finding out things and stuff like that you were going to portray in the film, and I actually got sent the script, I was really, really happy about that. I thought, I think it's an amazing idea, excellent, to bring awareness to a condition that not many people know about, not enough people know about. I mean, seriously, even doctors, really, like high up doctors are still not deciding to diagnose it because they don't know enough about it. So this film needs to go out there and to bring awareness, because I also don't think that people are aware that teenagers get it as well, because a lot of doctors and stuff that we've gone and spoken to, like in A&E, for example, I had to go to A&E a couple of times because of pain and things like that, and not knowing what was going on, and they've said, oh yeah, but it's really rare though, isn't it? Is it to get ME in teenagers? And but it's not really rare. It happens like quite a lot, and that's why people need to know about it and catch it before it gets worse.
Well, it's like you were saying, the idea of that it sometimes statistics are not correct because it just means it's being missed.
Yeah.
The reason why they think that it's rare is because they are not paying attention to teenagers when
they're not listening.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing the main role in the film. Is there any like tips you can give me of how to like portray the character, kind of?
Really, I don't know. Okay, I love acting and things like that, but it's difficult because I'm not describing someone else's character. I'm describing my own, really, because I felt so many similarities to that character when I read the script. So many. When I was reading it, I was going, "Oh my God, this could have been written about me." Well, we all know that the constant feeling is fatigue. So just tired, worn down. But I think you got everything down in the script. I really didn't have any faults for it. I thought it was really amazingly written, and so I think that you'll just do amazing at doing it. Yeah.
Do you think, just on a film side, emotion showing your character, is there an issue with posture, with the idea of that when you're not feeling the pain or not dealing with it at a time, that your posture would change, like kind of
definitely,
shoulders?
Definitely. My back is actually, because I've got no muscle in my back is actually bent. So, and that's because it never used to be like that. So I know it's definitely because I'm not doing anything. So the muscle is wearing away, and I hunch over when I'm sitting down, so I don't sit up, can't sit up, it actually kind of hurts. So sitting down, be hunched over all the time, and standing up, I've sort of got an arch, but it's like a really bad arch. But yeah, that's sort of something maybe, but I don't know if that's everyone, but that's definitely me.
Can I ask about your poetry? Because I know you do a bit of poetry, and you sent me a really brilliant poem that I know Andy's read as well, and we're going to use it at the end of the film, aren't we? So can I ask you, is poetry a big interest, and does that help you through some of the tougher times?
Yeah, well, actually, I always went to poetry when I was younger. Maybe not so much now, actually. I don't really go to poetry as much. But that one time when I wrote that poem, I was feeling really, really energised, really passionate. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do something. And I was feeling so terrible. So it was nice to have that energy. And so I put it in a poem, and I really honestly wasn't even writing a poem. I was just writing, and it formed into a poem, and I was like, oh my God. So, but when I was younger, I used to always go to songwriting and poems and things like that, writing about just things, just words, just letting the thoughts in my head come out into paper, and then I screwed most of them up because I didn't want people reading them. But it's good to write, it's good to let things out.
Well, I think that's been a fantastic discussion with you, and I'm amazed at how well you put your thoughts across. It's brilliant.
Yeah. No, I think you should be super proud. I think that is speaking as someone that has waited until I'm in my late 20s to talk about Emmy and spread some word. You're doing it at 16, which I could not imagine doing at 16. So I think that's a massive testament to to yourself, and I'm hugely flattered that you saw elements of yourself in the film. Very flattered.
Thank you very much to hear. It's nice to hear that. It's nice, isn't
it? Yeah. Thank you very much for letting us interview you, and I'm sure we'll probably get back to you again. I think we would love nothing more than you to be like a guest of honour when we do the premiere, because even though It will be a web series that will be online. We've got a big screen at our place of work. It's a cinema room, so we'll have a premiere there where we'll invite all the cast and crew. So we'd love to somehow get you down to North Wales or up to North Wales.
Up to North Wales.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I'd absolutely love that. Love that.
Thanks for talking to us today, Maliha.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Emmy, Myself and I podcast. Be sure to check out the series when it launches in the coming weeks.